Okay, so I finally did it. Many of you have been asking for a spreadsheet to be able to track your sales and inventory in your reselling business. So I created a very simple spreadsheet for you to be able to use for yourself. It is on Etsy. So if you go to my link tree, you can go to Etsy and download it, but you can watch this video first and see how I use it. So again, it's pretty simple. You just have to fill out a few things, and then I have it aggregate in a summary, how much you're making in sales revenue a month and what your profit is. And then there are many different things that you can do with this. I have not locked any cells, so it's a catch-22. So I didn't lock any cells so that if you are a little more Excel savvy, you can add more data and then you can do more pivots. However, that means that you have to be very careful not to mess up any of the formulas because if it gets deleted, I can't necessarily be IT to like help you and hold your hand through figuring out how to fix it. So I'm really trusting that hopefully this video will be something you can refer back to if you do run into some trouble, so you can see how each of the cells is being used. But either way, here is something that I think is going to be helpful for a lot of people who don't necessarily have the Excel background or business background, but you want to be able to see how much you're making, even as a part-time reseller. So let's dive into it. I'm going to show you exactly what you get once you make that purchase on Etsy and what you get downloaded to you. Just the downloadable content on Etsy. This is going to be the PDF file you receive. You'll scroll down and you'll hit download now, and you'll hit open in Safari, and then you'll click make a copy. So now this is just making a copy, and then here's what you're going to receive, and now it is yours. Now you can save it however you want. It's in Google Docs. So I guess you'll need a Google account. But anyways, so I'm just going to go to mine. So here's the same thing that we were just looking at. This is an SOP. This is standard operating procedure, so that if you forget what I am telling you, then you have this right here in this tab here. So the first place we're going to start is inventory. So this is where we are going to log all of our listed inventory. So this is not sold inventory, just inventory that you have that you're trying to sell. So in column A, you're going to add what site you listed it on. Let's say we only listed this one on eBay. This one's on Poshmark. We did Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. This is so that if you sell it, you know where what it's on. If you're not using any other software, you know what platform it's on, and you can go and delist there. Then next, you're going to add the brand. Pretty self-explanatory. Next, you're going to do a description. So what I like to do is I like to copy the exact description that I have in my listing that I've listed, let's say on Poshmark. I will copy that exact description and just paste it in here. And if you need this to be bigger, you can drag this over and make it bigger, however you'd like. Then I always like to keep track of the size. I put the day that I listed it. You'll put the cost of goods. COGS is cost of goods. So you're going to put how much you paid for the item, and then any type of listing fees. So on Poshmark, there are no listing fees. On Mercari, there are no listing fees. However, if you're on eBay and you have a lot of listings and you are not subscribed to a store, you typically have to pay a listing fee. So let's say you have to pay 25 cents every time you list. Or on Etsy, you have to pay 20 cents every time that item gets listed. These are your upfront listing fees if there are any. Again, that's mostly going to be eBay or Etsy. All right, so now you've got your inventory. This is going to be your inventory log. This is how you're going to keep track of everything. There are hidden columns in here. You do not need to do anything except for fill out everything that's right here. All right, the next thing we're going to do is once, let's say we sold these AG jeans. So what we're going to do in our sales tab, we are going to, and this goes kind of a little farther. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do for each of these. All we're going to do is take from the inventory, we're going to copy, you're going to highlight the entire thing, right click, we're going to copy the entire thing, go to our sales tab, we'll put it down here, and then we're going to paste it. All right, so what you're going to see is all of the information we had before, and then there's some missing pieces here. So we're just going to fill in the missing pieces. So for example, sale price, let's say we sold these for 40, the shipping charge. So the shipping charge is exactly what you charged the buyer for shipping. So on Poshmark, it's going to be 0. On Mercari, it's 0. But when you're on eBay, it could be 0 if you do free shipping. But if you charge your buyer $6.99 for an item, you put $6.99. It automatically copies, it brought over some of our information from our other tab. And then as we go over, if we're in our sale fee, let's say the sale fee is any other fees outside of that first initial like listing fee that we have here. The sale fee is going to be, for example, on Poshmark, and I put an example in our SOP here. So if we are, let me scoot over the screen. It won't let me do that. Okay, so for example, if you sell an item on Poshmark, you'll see you sold it for $25. There's a sale fee of $5. That's going to be your sale fee. Or if you did discounted shipping on top of that, you're going to have the $5 plus the $2.95. So you just can do literally $5 plus $2.95, and that's going to be your sale fee. And then it already will have our list fee, and then this is where it kind of gets tricky. So we can delete this row, but let's say this is going to be the tricky part here. So all of these items here have a formula in them. All you have to do here is highlight all 4 of them at the same time, click on this little guy here, and drag it down. And that is going to show you your profit, how many days it was listed before it sold, the month that it sold in, and the year. This is important because we have a summary dashboard right here. So after you fill this out, you're done. There you go. You've got all the information that you need to understand your cost, what you made, everything, right? So you go to your dashboard. This will automatically populate for you. So in 2025, in March, because if you look at my sales, I put that the date sold is March 1st, April 1st, and June 5th, or April 5th, June 15th. If you go into your dashboard, you'll see we have March, April, June. This is simply just to show you how it's going to look. If you do another one with March, it's going to just add to your total. So then you can see month over month what your total sales were and what your total profit is. So this is just pulling your total sales are coming from here, column G, and your profit is coming from column M right here. So those are all it's just going to aggregate it right here, and it automatically does it. So you do not have to do anything on this tab. It will do it all for you. So that's basically it. As you're going through here, like once you add your first item, like let's say you do your first, or even maybe your first 2. Let's say you add your first 2 like listings down below these ones. If you and you've already, I guess on your sales too. So what I don't want you to lose is this right here, being able to drag this down to see your data, right? So if you delete both of those and then start adding stuff, you're going to lose that formula. So let's add an item. When you first start with the spreadsheet, add one item down here with dragging those cells down to get that formula, and then you can go ahead and highlight the entire row. So you highlight 2, 3, 4, 5, the entire thing, and then you can right click and delete it. But make sure you have a little bit of data in here first, just so that you don't lose any of that stuff. But because I'm just gonna keep these in here as an example. So anyways, it's a pretty simple spreadsheet, but it's gonna teach you a lot of things. And then if you are a little more advanced in Excel, then you can start doing more pivot tables. You can add in like categories, if it's jeans, sweaters, whatever. Or if you'd like me to create a more advanced one, I could do that too. But this is just kind of a beginner starter. Let's keep track of our inventory, how much we're paying for things, how much they're selling for, what am I actually making? That's the whole purpose of this spreadsheet here. So I want to make this pretty simple. The SOP has step-by-step. There's an example over here. It is a very simple spreadsheet, and the SOP should show you exactly how to do everything. And only because I'm not going to have the availability to be able to be IT. So with this, when you download it, if there's like a question that I'm getting constantly from everyone, I'll create another video. But I'm hoping that this is simple enough that you'll be able to just track everything, and then you'll be on your own. You can fly on your own. All right. Anyways, that is the spreadsheet. If you have questions, I guess let me know in the comments, but I am really excited for everyone to be able to keep themselves organized.